I was just a diplomatic envoy. When I landed on Vel'Thara Prime, my only job was to represent humanity at an intergalactic summit. Nothing fancy. Just a few speeches, some handshakes, and absolutely zero alien marriage proposals. Or so I thought. Then Princess Kalen took me aside after a royal banquet, her luminous golden eyes watching me intently. "My family has chosen you," she said, voice smooth and certain. And blinked. Chosen me for what? Her bioluminescent markings flared in soft hues of warmth. To be my mate. Chapter 1. The Diplomatic Mishap. See, humans and Vel'Tharans had very different ideas about social customs. I thought the invitation to the banquet was just a friendly diplomatic dinner. Apparently, accepting the third cup of ceremonial nectar meant I was formally expressing intent to court their princess. Nobody had bothered to mention that. And now I was standing face to face with Kalen's entire royal family, who were very pleased about the union. I, on the other hand, was one diplomatic misstep away from intergalactic marriage. "I think there's been a mistake," I said carefully. "I didn't know about this custom." Kalen tilted her head. "And yet you drank." "Well, yes, but..." Her father, High Sovereign Vel'Thar, let out a deep hum. "He does not seem opposed." I absolutely was opposed. And yet, when I looked at Kalen, something about the way she studied me made it hard to form the words. She wasn't just beautiful, she was curious, intelligent, completely unreadable. And part of me wondered, did I actually want to say no? Chapter 2. The Royal Courtship Trials. Turns out I couldn't just refuse. Vel'Tharan saw arranged unions as a binding matter of honor, and declining without just cause could jeopardize peace between our species. There was one way out. I had to complete the Royal Courtship Trials, a series of traditional challenges proving my worthiness to be Kalen's mate. If I succeeded, I would be bound to her for life. If I failed, she would be forced to reject me, sparing my honor. The good news: I wasn't expected to win. The bad news: Kalen looked very interested in seeing if I would. Chapter 3. Trial 1. Strength. The first trial was a test of strength, a duel against a Vel'Tharan warrior. Now, I'm no slouch, but Vel'Tharans are 7 feet tall, covered in bioluminescent markings, and have muscle density twice that of a human. My opponent, Zyrek, grinned down at me, cracking his knuckles. "This will be quick, human." No kidding. The fight started, and I lasted precisely 45 seconds before getting knocked flat on my ass. Kalen's expression was unreadable. "Impressive," she finally said. Zyrek frowned. He lost. Kalen's markings flared. And yet he stood to fight anyway. That is strength. Okay, maybe I wasn't completely doomed. Chapter 4. Trial 2. Wit. The second trial involved a battle of strategy, a complex war simulation played on a holographic battlefield. I wasn't a soldier, but I knew how to think on my feet. I didn't fight fair. Instead of brute force, I set traps, used misdirection, and exploited every weakness I found. In the final round, I outmaneuvered a seasoned Vel'Tharan general. Kalen smiled for the first time. "You are cunning." Shrugged. "I prefer the term resourceful." She laughed. And suddenly, winning didn't feel so impossible anymore. Chapter 5. Trial 3. The Heart. The final trial wasn't about combat or strategy. It was about understanding. I was brought before Kalen alone, in the heart of the royal gardens. "This is the final challenge," she said. "You must answer one question." I swallowed. "All right." She studied me, her expression softer than before. "If you had a choice, free of obligation, would you stay?" The weight of the question hit me like a freight train. Because somewhere along the way, everything had changed. This had started as a diplomatic nightmare, but now I wasn't so sure I wanted to leave. Kalen wasn't just a political figure. She was sharp, thoughtful, endlessly fascinating. I had never met anyone like her. And in that moment I realized something terrifying. I wanted to say yes. I took a slow breath. I came here thinking we had nothing in common, I admitted. But you keep proving me wrong. Colin's markings flickered. A rare, vulnerable glow. The silence stretched. Then softly she said, "Then stay." Chapter 6. The Choice. The next morning the council convened. I had passed the trials. The alliance between Earth and Vel'Thara Prime was now stronger than ever. And when I was given the final choice, to return home or accept the union, chose to stay. Cullen smiled. And just like that, the impossible happened. I, a human envoy, became the mate of a Vel'Tharan princess. Epilogue. A future among the stars. Marrying an alien princess hadn't exactly been part of my diplomatic training. But as I stood at Colin's side, watching two species forge a new future together, I knew one thing for sure. Sometimes the best adventures come from the choices you never expected to make. And I was more than ready for this one.